Let's concentrate on passenger information now. The name field can contain anything. It's red, which means we have to have some value in there, but it could be anything. It could be Mrs. Smith, it could be Moishi, or it could be Stern Girls, anything really. Okay, now the telephone number we use in Emess CLI, which is caller line identification, which means if a customer's called Emess once before with the telephone number, we keep the information automatically on the system. So for example, if this customer calls in, the screen is going to be populated as follows. It's got the name of the family Eiger. It also tells you the home address is 84 Homely Road. Now if Mrs. Eiger calls from the phone at home, all we have to say, Mrs. Eiger, where are you going to? I'm going to Overley Road. That's all we need to do. We're ready to send off the job. We have more information than that. Let's assume again Mrs. Eiger calls and she says, do you know the last job that I've done? And we can go into view last and we have the information on the last job that was done for her. It went from 52 Fairholt Road back to 52 Fairholt Road with a wait and return. We can also find her usual trips. Let's take that phone number again, recent trips. Very often people do the same thing again and again. It's going from 52 Fairholt. Actually, I'm going to Egerton Road. So we can just click that. The whole job is here. We press F4 for save and the job is gone again. Let's try another phone number. Okay, this is Family Babat. They live at 11A Filey. And again, we can now say, let's go into recent trips. And she wants to go to the Homerton Hospital because she does that very often. You can see she's here a couple of times. The information is there and we can send it off. We have another telephone coming in on this phone number. Look at this bubble here. Customer has an active job. There's already an active job in the system. And what's going to happen is Mr. Hirschberg is calling up and we can say to him, yes sir, what is the problem with your job? Or what would you like to know? And he says, well, can you find out where my children are? They've been picked up from school. So we can go into view last. And we have the information here. It went from the Terabadar school back to Stamford Hill. They were picked up at 13:45. We can actually go and check on the driver and see where he is. You will therefore find that most of the times when somebody calls, you will have that information in here and it's going to make your life easier. For example, somebody can call with a mobile number. This happens to be my own mobile number, my address at home, and information on my account number as well. So to finish off this job, it's very simple then to fill in the red fields and then the job is done. Again, I can check recent trips. There's only 2 jobs here and I would say to them, yes, I'd like to go again from Ostrava Avenue to 151 Bethune, and we have it there. We can now concentrate on the time. It is either ASAP, which means as soon as possible, or I can put in for a little bit later. I could put it in for 4 o'clock. So I will put in here either a 4p for PM, or I could put in 1600 hours. If I put in 4 itself, it expects it to be AM and will therefore change it for 4 AM tomorrow morning on Monday. I can also go in and put a date in. I could say actually a day. I could say Friday next week. So it'll come up Friday the 16th. Or I can go into my calendar and I can choose Tuesday the 13th. And this way I can manipulate the timings very easily. I can change that and put a space in it, which will make it again for as soon as possible. What's important always is to check that yellow screen on the top here. This is information that the controllers put down for the telephonist to say in Stamford Hill we have within 0 minutes. In other words, right away we can have a car there. The same is for Golders Green. If there will be a figure here of, let's say, 20 minutes, it means we don't have cars right away and we need to give a delay time of 20 minutes. So we would say to the customer, I'm really sorry, I don't have a car right away. It will be there within 20 minutes. Within 20 minutes means it could be there right away, but it could take up to 20 minutes to get there. This way, the customer knows that he's been given 20 minutes. The office knows that we've given up to 20 minutes, so therefore the system will handle it in its right time. This same error here can be used for something totally different. If I do a pre-booking for this afternoon at 4 o'clock, and it's going to go, let's say, for argument's sake, to the airport. So I've got A, Heathrow, and it's going to Terminal 1. And I know it's important that the job should be given out on time. What I'm going to say here is I would like the job to be sent out 5 minutes before the extra time that we usually send it out. So you've got an extra lead time of 5 minutes, which means instead of sending out 4 minutes before the job is due, it'll send it out 9 or 11 minutes before the job is due, because we want to make sure the job gets there on time. The job is booked for 4 o'clock. The driver won't be able to charge from before 4 o'clock, but we send it out earlier. So this very same field here, the extra lead time, which we can use here, is used for lead time for a pre-booking, but if it's for an ASAP, for right-away booking, this area is used for delay time, where we can tell the customer, I'm sorry I don't have a car right away, it'll be within 5 or 10 or 15 minutes, depending on what it tells us up here.